Vampire blood would enhance. Perhaps even heal you, if what old Bridget says is true. I'll give you some of mine.
It would be extremely awkward.
You have no choice, Sean. It's the only way to protect your chapel. Those still amongst the living.
No, Dr. Reed. God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth?
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No!
I said kneel and drink. Now!
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there."
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Did you see what happened?
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work when I heard an awful scream, and there was this man, dead, just in front of the building.
You saw nothing at all?
No. I told you, just that awful woman's scream.
A woman's scream? Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying. I thought it was my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
Goodbye, Miss...
You again? What do you...
Did you see what just happened?
No, I didn't. And I don't care.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me. Good riddance, if you ask me.
Well... Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance?
Did you see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so... afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
Goodbye.
It's locked, all right. This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further.
Filthy fucking beast!
Giselle's stolen money. Priwen has some unethical ways of financing their war.
You again? What do you want?
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money, too?
Yes. Here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well... Thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
It's locked. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Dr. Reed. Are you here to subdue me again?
No, Sean. I just came by to see how you are.
I feel alright. Why'd you ask?
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No. It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
How is the sanitary situation in this part of town?
I think it's acceptable. Fewer cases of sickness recently. I thank the Lord for his mercy.
How are things in your shelter? Between the mortals and the immortals, I mean.
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
What if food became scarce? Wouldn't the immortals in your flock be tempted to feed on the living? Wouldn't you?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
Had you already visited their hideout in the sewers?
Just once, and very briefly. Most of them are very discreet, and they see me as an outsider, even if I protect them.
You really are a saint, Sean.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not. But I know evil, and I believe goodwill and tenacity can make this world a better place.
Would you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No. She is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened at the Pembroke?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own death? There was so much blood in her room. She attacked patients, too.
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Farewell, Sean. Take good care of your flock, and of yourself.
Crush the leech, boy! Shit! Fear no evil. Stupid spoken Stop, vermin!
I cannot enter. "29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me?" There's been a fight here. This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that? Where does this blood trail lead? It's locked.
Over there! This one's mine! Pay for this! Did you hear me? Steady, boys! Roasted alive! He's dead!
So much blood. Whoever was killed got dried out. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it. I have this thirst for blood. I cannot enter.
Jonathan!
What was that? I won't let you escape. You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered. I can still sense a presence. I feel someone's eyes upon my neck.
You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell Scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan's no demon. He's just a soul. Returned from the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, is it really you?
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
What is Mother doing here?
I'm gathering the family for a final reunion. All smiling, all dead. Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
Mary.
Mother, say hello to your son.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Of course. You can speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband, killed in France. My child, carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital, cemetery to cemetery, grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were, in front of me, on a dark pier.
The hunger had taken me.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again, as you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary, I thought I had murdered you. I tried to end myself. We've been through the same horror.
We are a disease, Jonathan. A sickness that corrupts all it touches. All we kiss, and all we kill. Look at me. Admire your ilk.
I'm so sorry.
Apologies will not suffice. I demand reparation. I want a miracle. Are you a miracle worker, Dr. Reed? No? I'll show you mine then. The family Reed, reunited and complete, living forever in a red sea of eternal love. Time to go, Mother. Say hello to my son for me.
Mary, wait. I have made friends with vital knowledge. Vampires. We are not alone, Mary. With time, we can learn to live almost as we lived before.
How long?
What?
How long will this masquerade continue? I've been watching you. All these nights in Whitechapel, pretending you're still a doctor. You believe you're just fighting a disease. But it's you, the disease. Jonathan, you!
I'm a scientist. I'll find a solution. Let our mother go, please.
You're always the one to sway me to reason, Jonathan. But before, your motivations were always pure. Now you're tainted.
Let her go! She has no part to play in this.
Very well. Have you heard our good doctor? You can go home, Mother. Go home and rest in peace.
Yes, I'll go home and rest.
It's so easy to make them obey or forget. Puppets for our pleasure. I've seen you have your fun.
You are mad.
So that's what I am, Doctor. Mad. I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing these voices in my head. One in particular. That of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal. Not for our poisonous kiss. Not even for the lies you tell yourself. No. It's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my ear.
Mary. No, don't!
Time to die, brother. And this time for good. You left me to rot in this grave. Yes, Jonathan, kill him. Revel in your true nature. Kiss me again, sweet brother. You've burned away Nurse Crane's mind. You're a monster! Come to me, Jonathan. Assassin! Hey! killed me, brother! What have you done? I'll make you kneel like a dog, just as you did to Sean Hampton! Rest in peace, monster. Well, brother. It's time to bring this conversation to an end. Forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Calm now, Doctor. Like a rabid dog. Or think you're performing an autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will find a cure, Mary. I swear it.
Then, at last, I can forgive you.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister, I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word. The epidemic that has stricken London is not the Spanish flu. It is transmitted through the blood, via violent biting, turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire, born anew into an age of death and pestilence. While plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find the source of this epidemic. I am convinced greater perils are still to come. I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster, in less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Prewen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Jonathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. And with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house?
You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Jonathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Thank you. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye. It's locked. Good evening, Mr.
I need blood, Doc.
I'll leave you.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll...
I will not let you down, my boy. I'm so tired. Will this shift never end?
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you... Goodbye.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work. I must confess I am surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
See how condescending he can be? My God, he can be so irritating.
Goodbye.
Seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm all right.
Good evening, Doctor.
Don't waste your time with...
Do you require medical attention as well, Mr.
Do you know...
Despite...
Well, at least...
Goodbye.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me.
So many deaths.
Even the darkest.
And what
Good
of my
evening.
own?
Evening.
Soldier.
Not really.
As long as you remain...
Don't think...
Goodbye.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count. I wish I could say the same for the others.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require...
I will be...
Nurse. You...
I'll try.
Goodbye, nurse. Call... Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need any medical...
I'm afraid I...
Our job brings us into contact.
That's easy for you.
I'd like...
Wise choice, Doctor. Hey, Doc.
I'll leave you. Hello again.
Good evening.
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald...
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war...
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You were wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye.
We were supposed to be safe. Oh, what?
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Good evening. Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company. Even if the...
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good...
Please show...
Of course.
Get them weapons ready! He's done for! Murder him! Bloody monster!
Hello again. Tell me, Camellia, how are things now the dispensary is closed? Very well.
Its own beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just this.
Good evening.
And good evening to...
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I imagine we are all part of some nightmare without beginning nor ending. If only the dreamer could awake.
I'll leave. Good evening, Mr.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Tell me the reason why you despise Joseph Larrabee so much, Tobias.
A faithless shepherd is the worst criminal, for he leads his flock to the abyss by disregarding the right path. God smote this man, for he doubted.
I only met him briefly, but he seemed a dedicated man who tried to provide guidance.
Do you not believe in punishment, my son? I am not talking about the law of men. I am talking about judgment.
I believe that we are, as men, our own judges, juries, and executioners.
Armageddon is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle where every soul will be weighed. I'm afraid yours will burn for a long time.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
Faith gives me all I need, my son. If I must fall, then so be it.
No doubt your faith will prevail, but let me give you some extra protection against the devils.
Blessed be your
I have heard...
Fancy...
You never... How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
Do you need help, sir?
To be honest, I'd prefer you take a look at my stuff. I'd rather be rich and sick than the contrary.
I will... Goodbye.
Cheap price, good quality. Hey, come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality.
You again?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I'm not easily scared, but crazy killers and armed patrols are lurking about. My son's right about this place.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please, take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... Do you need help? I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally.
Goodbye
This district seems to get uglier every year.
Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial. The Swanborough cordial.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working at the Pembroke Hospital. She was a good nurse.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. And then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an...
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
How is the sanitary situation?
Terrible, to say the least.
That's quite an accusation.
Stop pretending, Mr. Doctor. All you wanted was to confront Dorothea. You never intended to help Whitechapel's people.
There isn't just one way to help Whitechapel.
Your way seems to attract sorrow and despair, Mr. Doctor. Your kind of care is not what Whitechapel needs.
Tell me, who is she? Are you...
Don't...
Goodbye, Mr.
You look
Good evening, Chris.
changed.
How are the conditions in Whitechapel these days?
When I think about all the people who died trying to reach England, it seems we escaped a war.
Goodbye.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
How are conditions in Whitechapel at the moment?
I always thought it was my role to reveal what really happens in these forgotten parts of London.
And you're not sure anymore?
Emptied coffins. Cannibalism. Walking dead. I'm trying to report the truth about what's going on, but no one believes it anymore.
Goodbye.
Don't you know better? You're feeble! You're mine!
Better go home, sir.
I'm almost glad I cannot see them.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in. Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool. Tell me, how do you see the world these days? What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour? Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
It's locked, all right.